Today, we're looking at Noodler's Purple Dream. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now, Noodler's Purple Dream is a purple ink. And to make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples. I put the ink into a different pen for a day. I then put it into a Pilot Metropolitan with a medium nib to take my notes for this video. Now, before we get to the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography. And I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And what we see is this is truly a purple ink. It's not just some mixtures. That purple pushes its way up very, very light at the bottom and starts getting darker with a nice dark line of purple across the top. The one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And the only differences we're really seeing is the line of purple where I put the ink down across the bottom is much darker. It's much more there. But I don't know that it's much more permanent. It did travel farther up the filter paper, which was a little unusual to see. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it might be to clean from your pen. Now I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it seems at first like it's doing very well, but the top of that lowercase h, the amount of it that has moved, makes me a little risk averse to using this in a note-taking situation, but otherwise it performed very well. It did spread a bit from being that extra fine, but I can read everything that's there. Water's reactivating and lifting almost all of this ink off the paper, but we do see that light purple across the bottom, similar to the line that we saw on the second chromatography. Pen flush does everything that water does and more. We easily start to see some of the white of the paper coming through, making me say that pen flush is all that you would need to get this out of your pen. 1/3 bleach solution, as would be expected, is completely removing it from the paper, but there's no reason to use a 1/3 bleach solution to get this ink out of your pen. For the inks I've tested, I've found an average viscosity of 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Noodler's Purple Dream has a viscosity of 2.81, making it normal. Now it's the drier side of normal, but it is still normal. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper with the extra fine and medium nib. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Noodler's Purple Dream has an average dry time of 15 seconds. Now, let's look at the writing samples. I picked this ink up in sample form. Wow, sound seems so weird. I picked this ink up in sample form, and to keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at the Clairefontaine. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine gives us the same tone that we got with the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It took 10 seconds to dry. The medium, same tone all the way through, same as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 14 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation, and we didn't get any. And a smear test you could likely recover if you smeared while you were writing. Tomoe River. We get no bleeding. We do get ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone that we got with the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It took 15 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. 21 seconds to dry. The scrubby for the extra fine and the medium both show no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. And a smear test you could likely recover if you smeared while you were writing. Rhodia. Oops. With a rhodia, we get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. It took 11 seconds to dry. Sound is weird on this video. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. It took 16 seconds to dry. The extra fine and the medium scrubby both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. The smear test you could likely recover if you smeared. Let me move my mic. What in the world? Okay, I don't know. The smear test you could likely recover if you smeared while you were writing. I'm going to have a lot of post to do, I think, on this audio. White lines paper, we had a lot of bleed spots. It did not touch the page underneath. It did not, you could not use the back of the page. But this paper is not really made for writing on both sides, so that's kind of okay. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine has the same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It took 6 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 7 seconds to dry. The extra fine and the medium scrubby showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. In the smear test, you could definitely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. So this is Apica paper. It's one of my favorites. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 8 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 11 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. And the smear test, you could likely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. So this is Strathmore writing paper. It's a nice laid paper. It's got no bleeding, no ghosting. It barely shows on camera. It's got these tiny little lines on it, so if you do need lines, they're very, very faint. It's not really even lines so much as dotted lines. So if you need that when you write, then this is a really good option. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone as the 1.1. It looks a little lighter on camera, but it's not. It's the same tone. When I fold that paper over and I put those letters next to each other, like that, I see the same tone. So the extra fine is the same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 7 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 9 seconds to dry. The scrubbies for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. And a smear test, you could definitely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. And that is all that I have for the writing sample. Instead of finding inks that look like Noodler's Purple Dream, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. And I wanted a nice black because this purple is a pretty nice color. I chose Colorverse Black Hole. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Noodler's Purple Dream? This is a very dark, rich tone of purple. Now, it lacks some of the properties that I prefer in inks, and there are some purple inks that give me all of the properties the way I would like them. This is not a bad ink. I'm happy to have tried this ink in a sample. I don't regret it at all. I'm just not sure that it's what speaks to me for a larger volume of ink. Thanks for watching.